Good evening and welcome to our live broadcast. It's our first time having a live broadcast on YouTube, and welcome to Mchinga Corridors. If you're watching us for the first time, we are from Mchinga Corridors, and this program is sponsored by PEPFAR. They deal with health issues and that is HIV and AIDS, especially to adolescent health. So there's this program called Peer to Peer, where young people discuss with their fellow young people. So we've had this program running on Facebook for a while now, and we've been going out in communities for community engagements as well as what something that we call um, Insaka community Insaka. I hope I've not, but it has Insaka. Yes. So my name is Rebecca, and I'll be your host. We're going to be having these programs from time to time, and the usual days that we have is Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. But this week is a little bit different, so we're going to be having a mix up on Facebook and YouTube throughout the week. So our topic for tonight is AIDS-free generation. So before I go any further, I'm not alone. I'm with my colleague. I'll allow her to just say hi and as well introduce herself.
Hello, good evening, everyone. On this show, my name's Grace Cheese, and I'm accompanied by Rebecca as a host. And in the meantime, she'll be introducing the topic that we're gonna handle about HIV prevention. Yeah, thank you. I submit.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much, Grace, for that powerful introduction. So tonight we're going to be discussing on AIDS-free generation. So what I understand by an AIDS-free generation, it's like a goal. It sounds like a goal, but it means a generation that does not have AIDS. I've just rephrased the sentence so that from that we can get a meaning of what it means to have an AIDS-free generation. So, and this is a goal that has stood in the health sector, and this is something that they are trying to achieve going forward. That we have a generation or a world that is free from AIDS. So that is in a simpler way that I can put it, that I can break it down into. That is what it means to have an AIDS-free generation. Yes. So that is from my own understanding. Grace, what do you understand that by an AIDS-free generation? What does it mean when we say an AIDS-free generation?
Okay, according to my own understanding, I understand that AIDS-free generation means um, um, we are living in a world where uh, HIV now is it's rampantly being spread, and you know this infection, taipola wangu. Let me say taipola. So, but how can we live in a AIDS-free generation? Easy. We want to reach an extent where we cannot transmit the virus. The virus is there, yes, and it will be there, yes, but that chances of transmitting it like at these days is not as high as these days. So everyone, where now no one can get HIV from someone who is having HIV, where we will live free without getting the virus, meaning in the future we eliminate it. That's what I understand. So we live in a world free AIDS generation.
Okay, thank you very much, Grace. And it really makes me wonder, is it really possible for us to reach a generation that is AIDS free? I mean, how possible is it? If we can just discuss around that, how is the possibility of having an AIDS free generation?
Okay, me, according to what I see, um, it is possible, yes, because we've been discussing on new methods that the government has been bringing in, or rather, uh, these people who are learned and educative with science, they are trying possible ways to make sure that they find something that can eliminate HIV. So we've discussed a lot about PrEP and PEP, where levels of getting HIV virus is no more if early adhered to. For example, when we talk about PrEP, this is where we're talking about. Let me just give an example of discordant couples. It is very possible that a husband can be HIV positive, a wife is HIV negative, and there are chances that a wife cannot have a child who is HIV positive. So if this husband just adheres to the medicine and he reaches a level where the viral load is undetectable, meaning a wife will be free from getting the virus to the husband, and the children that this woman will be bearing, they will be free from HIV. So it is possible in this way that we can, if just like this, let me say it is just early for us to work on it, just to be adhering to this information that we are receiving. Yeah. And when I talk about PEP, when I talk about PEP, when someone accidentally just gets a virus, it is it is possible that this person, it is possible that this person cannot get the virus if early treated or adheres to the medicine the within the time frame that they've indicated to. Yeah, before the virus gets in the body. Yeah, they so if people can just adhere to these rules and ways of preventing HIV, it is possible that Kuntanshi in the near future or in the longer future, we can live in a AIDS-free generation. And if we continue to adhere.
Okay, thank you very much. So, just as Grace has said, it is indeed very, very possible. It is by just through those simple steps that we keep avoiding all the time. I'm sure the question that I've asked somebody that might have come across this statement of AIDS-free generation may have thought, how is that possible? Can it even happen? Maybe somebody out there is asking those questions, and if you are watching us and you're asking those questions, or you know somebody who's asking those questions, or you get to meet somebody who may have those questions, these simple steps, these simple guidelines that the health sector is giving to us each and every time are the very steps that can help us achieve an AIDS-free generation. Because the problem is, Grace spoke of adherence. There are different kinds of groupings. There are people that don't have information, So they are spreading the virus. They're getting and spreading the virus. There are people that have information, but they are still spreading the virus. And then there's some people that have information and they are doing according to the information that they have. So when you get an information about something, you need to apply it and then you adhere. You continuously do it. You continuously access the services. You continuously share the knowledge. You continuously apply. Where you need to take medicine, you take. If you need to get PrEP, you get it. You need to get PEP, you get it. So those very simple steps are what is going to help us achieve an AIDS-free generation. And if we can all work together, I think that is one of the things that can help us. And if we were to look at what cannot help us achieve this, it's the negative mindset that we have, thinking it's not going to happen. So those very simple steps that we receive every day, the PrEP, the PEP, taking ARVs, sharing information on HIV/AIDS, condomizing either female or male condoms, uh, being faithful to one partner, or abstaining. Those are the things that can help us in achieving an AIDS-free generation. Because as we have said earlier, an AIDS-free generation is a generation that is free from AIDS. They don't have AIDS. It may not be completely like there is no AIDS and no one is on ARVs, but it can be very possible that the spread is cut. I think earlier in the other presentations that we had on Facebook, Grace spoke about the 1990, is it? Yes, that goal. It has to do with the lowering the viral load of the HIV virus. That when it is not present, when it is not detected in the body of a person, then it cannot be spread to the next to any other individual. But how is it possible for the viral load to be lowered? It is when we all adhere to the guidelines that we are given. Those of us young people and even older people that are sexually active, when you expose yourself, you don't condomize. You don't to yeah, you don't want to condomize. You need to go for PrEP and PEP. You need to go for PrEP and PEP so that it helps you protect yourself, your family, and our next generation to not get the HIV virus. So having an AIDS-free generation, the statement itself is everybody's responsibility that each and every person needs to take, because it's up to us to ensure that our tomorrow is cleared of this virus that we have in our midst. We started it, we're spreading it. We can also stop it. If we know the source, we have the solution. It is easier for us to put an end to it. Yes. So having said that, those are some of the ways that we can achieve an AIDS-free generation. And it is easier for us to sum it all up if we work together in achieving an AIDS-free generation. So I'll just pose a question because we've noticed that one of the reasons why the HIV virus keeps spreading each and every day is because of the myths around HIV/AIDS, the mindset that people have towards HIV and AIDS. They don't want to follow what they are supposed to do. They feel as if somebody wants to do what, no, the white this, the white that. Those beliefs that we follow, the myths. No, it is a punishment from God. They just don't follow. Others have got BP, like they've just made it in mandate that they need to be giving HIV virus to everybody. there are so many ways in which there's so many reasons as to why there is an increase in the HIV positives results that are coming up each and every year. So now, the main thing from all this is the mindset of the person. The people's mindset is it's still not in line with this statement that we are discussing on today. They still think it's not possible. Others just don't want to comply to some of the guidelines that are given by from the health sector. So my question to you is, what
Okay, network is difficult somehow, so I may continue maybe where for
so if we're
uh,
still having
the
the
friend.
apologize, my network seems to be tripping.
Okay, so I may want to contribute some. So for us to achieve what has a friend Rebecca has just said, for us to achieve a 90-90-90 vision in 2030 is just to continue to develop and disseminate effective HIV prevention uh, teachings or education. So, by the way, the government, non-government organizations, they are working hard to make sure that this information is gotten by with us. So, for example, we are using this as a digital method of disseminating information because we've seen that most of youths and other people, they are now active on social medias. So these are the other ways that we can make sure that information is reached to everyone. So the other thing that we should continue doing is to protecting healthy, over pregnant and breastfeeding women living with HIV, making sure that children have access to antiretroviral therapy as their age, at a tender age, as long as they found to say, okay, by mistake, a mother transmitted a virus to a child. So if we focus on doing this, and other points that I have that I would like to share is focusing on prevention and treatment during adolescence so that children remain AIDS free in the coming generation. So we can only do this, and the government can come in by increasing empowerment and reducing vulnerability through HIV affected adolescents. I talked about adolescents here. So if we adolescents at our tender age, we are fed with the correct information about HIV, how we can handle such situations, because in the society there are myths, a lot of myths that we adolescents get at the end of the day. But if the government can only look into it, like this program that is going on here, we are fed with the correct information and we are here to disseminate it. Equitable and quality education about gender inequalities of violence, which will help, which will empower us to speak without fear. And at the end of the day, as I speak, probably me, I know this information, and it's my responsibility now to make sure that I follow everything that I am disseminating here. So it will be a must at the end of the day that if we disseminate the correct information, people will use it at the end of the day, and we are there to achieve a AIDS-free generation. And also, government should prioritize at least adolescents who are at risk of or who are exposed to HIV. Um, we should not also just focus on awe adolescent bashitashani their parents where they stay or their guardians where they stay, they may abuse them. So if the government can just prioritize, make sure that these at least adolescents are attended to early to avoid abuse that can lead to them getting the virus, it will be effective to achieve this goal. And human rights advocates to promote enabling laws and practice them. Policies just the recent one where government and NGOs, we are still on the debate anyway, to say comprehensive sexuality education cannot be taught in school. So if comprehensive sexuality education is taught, it's not all about talking about sexuality, but also other ways that will allow an adolescent to have healthy choices in future will help. It's all about having the information. If I'm empowered with the information, doesn't mean there and then that bad things can happen to me, but at least I will have the knowledge, or either a friend, I will help that person in such a way. So if the government can look into this by making sure that enabling laws and policies, they allow us adolescents to know this information, as I said, that we should also have quality information, educated, it will help to achieve this, the 2030 vision of silencing the virus to the zero transmission. So that's all I wanted to share at the moment. So I've seen the comrade is back. Rebecca, you can continue.
Thank you very much, network. So she has very well elaborated those points, and thank you so much, Grace, for that presentation. Um, yes, so by all that, we are assured of an AIDS-free generation. Yes. So I couldn't add more. It was very clear, and we are going to the concluding part of our discussion, and this is where we say our last words. Yes, so from me to everybody is that let's work together as a country, as a continent in Africa, and across the globe. Let's work together to ensure that we achieve the vision 2020, where we have an AIDS-free generation. It is very possible if we just focus our mind and believe that it can happen. So allow Grace to say her last words before we say goodbye.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'll repeat. It's my responsibility to fight HIV. It is your responsibility there, whether you're a parent, whether you're a youth. So it starts with you to fight the virus. If you don't have a virus, share the information, the correct information, so that everyone knows. And then we are going to reach the 90, 90, 90, and we'll live in a AIDS-free generation. It's not maybe us, but the coming generation may live. One fight can free the world or a country, but this time around we are fighting for the whole world. So this fight that we've started should not just end in vain, because as much as I know, governments and other parties, they've pumped in a lot of resources just to fight it. So let's take it from our heart that we can fight it, and it's supposed to start with me, supposed to start with you, and we can end this vice and live in a world of free heads. Thank you.
All right, thank you so very much. It is indeed our responsibility. So, from me and Grace, it is good night, and thank you so very much for joining us. And be sure to join us again next time. We will be able to inform you as soon as we have another lives um, broadcast here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press that like button. Thank you so much. Have a good night.